Okay, now I have analyzed another game that I lost, Tablero64. Let's see what went wrong. Sicilian, Taimanov as usual, and C6 and C3 and C6. Still, well, now there's this suboptimal move. Well, oh, okay, let's see one thing that is going for us. Okay, that's now I don't know why I didn't play. I don't know. I have no idea why I didn't play Queen C7 in this position. Well, that's usually my usual position. My usual move. Yeah. And then it goes B3, A6, Bishop E2, I think, or Queen D2 possibly. Knight F6, and so on. Well, actually, that's what I usually play here. And Knight F6, then well, longer castle or Bishop E4. Okay. Okay, already E6, Bishop E2, and F6, castle short, and still Bishop. No, what? Bishop E4. Then, okay, whatever. Here's F3 that you play. F5. Okay, so this is actually more that was I'm used to play, so I don't know why I played here on F6. Oh, whatever. Knight C6, BC6. Now, of course, in this position, white can play knight B5. And here you have to play D6. Yes. Bishop F4, A5. Well, not sure. Okay, that is, I think, well, no, it's kind of scavenging, and well, that's usually a position I don't want to play, because if you don't know what to do here in this position, you pretty much get crushed. Okay, 4. Okay, but not what white played. White plays knight c6, bc6. Well, actually it's kind of uncharted territory here. A5 and d5. Well, again, I get in this kind of position. This kind of position that I don't like. Knight e4. Obviously, the eyeing d6. So queen c7. Now knight d6 cannot be played. Otherwise, white loses a pawn, and of course, we are threatening the pawn a5. When the next move is f4, the move. And now I played a move, I think, that is very suboptimal. In fact, after bishop b4, it gives me the engines, the answer of c3 and okay, let's see what's happened. Bishop e7. Now the best move here is c4. Well, actually, it's obvious. Well, not what's happening here. Knight b6, knight d6. Okay, now I see that if I move the knight, and I have to move if I move the knight, then knight d6 becomes playable. Yes, of course. If I go check queen a2, quite interesting. Now white queen e2, that's would be knight b6. Okay, now bishop b4, king e2, castle. No, that's totally not understandable. Why would white drop? Why would black drop? Well, knight b6 is also bad. I wonder why. I guess because it allows knight d6 check. Okay, and then if king on the 8 down, knight f7. On the other hand, no, but not nb6. So after nb6 is bd3. Let me move so less. I have no idea why in his right mind black would choose to play bishop b4. Let's see what happens after bishop. Let's see. Well, let's see what happened after knight b6 instead. So in the end, that's nd6 actually removed. nd6, bishop d6, a d6, queen d8, bishop e3, castle. And I think, okay, let's see what happened after knight d6, bishop d6, a d6, d8. Oh. Well, bishop e3, I guess, or b3. Well, of course, yes, that's a white has a lot of space, black is cramped. That's according to the engine is worth more than a pawn. Bishop e3, bishop b7, a4, queen h4, g3, queen a6, a5, g5, c5. Okay. Let him finish. Analyze. Okay, I got kind of yeah. Fritz, whatever, Komodo crashed on me. Oh. Okay, but I believe here that bishop e3, bishop b7 is the best. Okay, just okay. That is a position. Okay, so instead of f4, what is a better alternative now? Oh, we are actually still in queen b6. Okay, c4. And now bishop b4. No, that's really interesting. That's really interesting because now, of course, the queen b6. Now it's obvious the queen b6 now that allows this idea. So it is obviously that king a2, and now f5, that's it. And white can either play e takes f6 or knight f2. E takes 6, 9 f6. Okay, let's choose a6, knight f6, bishop e3. Now the black must move the queen, queen d8, and that's actually equal. So it's in this position. You have to know what to do. In this position, the best move is queen b6. You have to know it. Of course, queen a5 is also a possibility. Maybe according to some engines, it's actually even better. So what happened after queen a5? Let's check. c3. Like queen b6, bishop d3, bishop a6. Yeah, okay. Queen b6. It's Commodore 10 says it. Then oh, not what is this? Wait a sec. Queen b6, bishop d3. Bishop e3 is horrible. What is this? Bishop d3 and bishop a6. And equal. That's another situation where it pays to know your openings. So bishop b4 is actually very suboptimal. Because after c3 you have to move the bishop, and it allows c4. That is kind of embarrassing for white. Now, of course, if the queen bearing b6, now it would be white would be more complicated to play it. Now, of course, let's check bishop b4 and yes, it's still, well, d2 is actually playable. But the main move by bt2, but then knight e3, it can sort of annoy. But after king a2, castle, well, of course it's obviously that white, but doesn't black anything better than castling? What is this? c5 and d5, a3, bishop c5. What is this? What is this? Why can't okay, because after a5 and d5, a3, bishop a5, b4, and white and black loses the bishop. So that's why this is not good. Let it finish calculating. Okay, then let's c5, d5, a3, and yes, and white gets a great a winning advantage. Yeah. On the other hand, after king a2, castle, cd5, well, actually that's yeah, well, what is it? Is this what set up? Castle, cd5, to defend this cd5, yes, that's the main variant. Well, let's make it equivalent, and actually the same. In the end, we get to the simple. Show. c3, ba7, ba2, and what is this? And ba2. ba2 is actually worse. Now white loses all his advantage. Well, if black knew what to do, queen b6 is the move one I should be playing now. Oh, preventing castle, of course. Bishop d3, f5, c5, or queen b3. What for? White. Well, let's assume it will be d3, f5, h5. But still, castle is not bad. Still, actually, I think almost equal, and the game is still open. c4. I don't know. nb6. Well, nb6 is bad. Now let do Commodore finish analyze this. Bishop b4. Okay. Well, it doesn't actually make that much of a difference, does it? Well, it does it according to. So let's see what happened after knight bishop b4, king f1, f6, a3, bishop e5. Poof. Well, let it another. Well, f1, f6, a3, bishop a5. Well, let's see. It seems okay. After nb6, castle. Well, is marginally better for white. a5 or c5 doesn't really make a difference, or f6. Well, according to the engine, yes, a5 is suboptimal. What is the best bet here? Well, according to Commodore, c5, bishop e3, bishop e6. And then what? Queen c2, f6. Let it analyze a little. Well, after b6, b3, but f6. Well, it really doesn't seem that better. After a5, okay, bishop e3, and now c5. Well, I do actually end up playing bishop e6 after all. It's actually some move that the engine likes to. I think that doesn't make a lot of difference. Bishop. Now queen d4. Okay. Now really I should be playing c5. Knight c5, bc4. Now that's very interesting. Let's see, now c5, bc4. Oh no, oh, whatever, what is this? Knight c5, bc4, bc4, and rook fc8. Rook fc8, bishop e6, knight takes d7, knight takes c4. Oh, well, that's quite interesting. Okay, that's okay. I went bishop. I went variant c5 and c5, bc4, bc4, knight d7, knight d7, and now we are now analyzing the following. Okay, so that's the variant after knight d7, rook c1, bc5, queen d2. Okay. b5, according to me, is actually is that really worse? Doesn't seem. Okay, b5, b3. Next move, and then yeah, it's really difficult here to find a good move for black, but f5 is just first choice. f5 and c7, bishop c8. Well, that's really embarrassing. bc8 to what? To protect d7, I guess. I don't know. No, of course. The bishop a6 is unpresa. It must be moved. Bishop d7. Rook ad1. Oh, and then now it's really annoying. a4, e4, e3. Well, of course, that was now there are three defenses on this pawn, and 3 attacks. So naturally, it's not going to fall. Still, the position of black is still hard to play. So there are no direct threats, I think. Okay, I'll finish here and mark it. Better for white. And c8 still is worse, but still is ridiculously hard to play. Now white can play f5, but instead he played fd1, rook d8. But actually now is still somewhat better. Well, instead of d1, what black could play, white could play. Well, I could play f5. It's actually worth looking at it because white then it wins. This is gets a winning advantage. F5, ef5, rook at 5. Now what happens after that? I'm really not sure why white is winning. B5 and f6, bishop f6, f6. Oh. Okay, the white gets a very strong attack on the king. Now this is our really things that modern computer program see very well. But regrettably, I don't. Queen b6. Well, that's interesting. Queen b6, queen d3 is actually queen d8, but not accomplish actually nothing. And c5. Piece off. bc5, bc5, and a7 2. Well, no, that's a kind of, I find very hard to see what happens here. Queen b6, queen d3, queen d8, and c5, bishop c5, bishop c5, and a7, rf2. Okay, and what's happening now? 9g6, d6, queen b7, and well, knight g6, d6, queen b6, rd1, and f4, queen d4, rook d1, and f4, queen d4, queen d4, rook d4, 2, rook e2. Come on. Okay. Come on, that's a total mess. A6. Now, why on earth why white is so better at the same material? Knight a6, rook b3. Come on, well, so that what they say. I analyze the computer with the game and understand nothing what happens at all. Now white, according to the edge, is a crushing advantage. Well, of course, knight e6, rook d3. Ah, okay, of course, rook b8, bishop g4. Knight d6, rook d3, rook b7. Okay, whatever. Okay, now bishop f5, king f5, and what? And after such a completely crazy sequence of white wins the quality. Yeah, whatever. Okay, bishop f6. So let's try to understand what's happening. f5, f5, rook f5. Of course, the variation is, of course, the attack on the queen's king side. But okay, I'm not going there. Yeah. Well, of course. Okay, let's try, check another variant. Just d6 and f6, bishop f6, e takes f6, 9d6, rook f3, knight e4, fg7, rook f8. Wow. Knight f6, bishop c, af6. Goes knight. Okay, so after this 5 and f6, bishop takes knight d6, rook f3, knight f4, fg8, rook f8, 8, rook f1, rook a7, bishop f4. Oh. Queen b7, c5, queen c5, queen c5, knight c5, bishop b8, rook a2, rook f7. Wow, that's sick. Rook f3, rook f8, king g7, rook f6, rook. That's sick. That's sick. I wonder how I'm supposed to see all that in a real game. Okay, so let's see what was the idea. Rook f1, rook a7. That was exactly, that's the bishop f4, yes. Queen b6, queen c5, queen c5, 9 c5, bishop b8. Now rook takes, rook takes. Rook a6 or rook a6, rook 1 f3. Rook a1, king f1. Okay, whatever. Let's finish here. It's just too shocking. come on. Okay, after rook d8 is rook fd1, rook d8 is okay. White is still at advantage, but it's still not as bad as still. Bishop f3, well, d5, yes. Ace takes d5, knight d5. White is still, game is still kind of open, although white has a definite advantage. Queen a5. Let's check. Look at d4, bishop b3, d5, h d5, queen f5. Now would be rook bc8 is actually suggestive from Stockfish, so cannot be that bad. Bishop d4 and f5. Now that's an inferior move. Bishop f8 is actually what is suggested here. Now c5, bishop b5, knight b7, knight b7, bishop c7, c7. It's just that's how it works. And bishop a6, yes. But of course, rook d1, and rook c8. Yeah, rook d7. It seems everything's kind of forced. And bishop c5, and c5. Rook a7, a4, bishop 4. Okay, now that's sick. That's sick. Still a white is at advantage. Let's make it analyze a little more, just to be sure that what is. Okay, it seems to confirm the analysis so far. It goes actually out. Yeah, now that is a kind of. Now that's sick. That's sick. That such a level of such a death. Okay, it confirms variant, so I can move on like before. And f5. Yeah, that's. So, but not that because after queen c7, white is advantage. Rook c7 and bishop b6. Well, of course, that rook d8, now rook b7 or rook c8. Well, rook c8 allow rd7. That's annoying to know, and well, they are both bad actually. Now is actually already pretty much over. So what is the difference? Look at this. Well, I don't know. Well, it's pretty much the same. Rook b7. Bishop takes e5. Well, one or the other. King f8. Well, now it's pretty much pointless because two white. Well, it's actually 2 pawns up, yes. Or only one. No, actually only 1 pawn up. But 3 of them on the queen side. Well, I don't know. White is actually seem to be kind of tied up. Well, I don't know actually what can black do to. Really, I don't know what's the point of trying to find a less bad move now in this position. Because I don't really think that they are that bad. Queen a7, g4, knight f6. Oh, okay. Knight a4 would have been better. Well, yeah, h4, whatever, let's, because this is really bishop h1, king f8, what, nf6, gf6, what is this? Bishop c6. Oh, come on, what's this? Well, no, that's actually interesting. You need a commode to find this. But we know that. And this is actually the good move, or whatever. After knight d6, bishop d6, rook takes d6, rook c7, bishop a5, bishop c. So, well, that's pretty much pointless here. I don't think black gets ever a chance to save this game. Just white doesn't just ties up black up and then pushes the pawns on the queen side, and well, and black can actually only, now it's completely over. Now this is actually funny that this is actually a better option, this position. Well, but come on. Now after bishop rd7, now b5, king d5, c6, well, and it's over. It's not, cannot prevent queening. Okay. Now let's go back to the beginning and see where I went wrong. Well, that's probably here. I just took opening not confidence here. Usually pick with c7. Okay, not a point. And knight c6, bc5, f9, d5, for queen c7. Yes, that's a position where I completely unfamiliar with. Queen c7 after f4. Now you have to know what to do. The check is bad, because after c3, b2, c4. Now actually not the thing is white is actually threatening c4, so something has to be done. Either queen b6 or queen a5, or queen b6, c4 does not work before b4, king a2, f5, c5, and 5, b3 is actually now. Okay, of course, let's forget that. This is, or queen a5 even. Probably that's even better. c3, queen b6, b3, bishop e6, and it is equal. No, very few games have actually reached this position, interestingly. Well, after this, c3, b7, b7, b8, well, white plays b8, doesn't see, so castle, c4. Now b4 is actually good because annoying. f6, f3, b5. And actually, I don't know what happens after b4, bishop b5, c4. What happens after b4? I don't know actually why. cd5, f5, cd5. Well, this position does seem that terrific for black. Oh, that's completely crazy. Now I really have to know what to do. But is it interesting? No, that's sick. Is that really? F1, f6, a3, a5. Well, actually, that even not even after ba5, the main move is yes, cd5, cd5, and c3, c3, fs5, kf2. Now that's after bc3, ff5. That's the main line. Let's see if it is confirmed. f6, a3, b5. Okay, cd5, cd5, bc3, f5. Okay, that's the main variant. That's automatic variation. f5. Oh, that's a completely mess. And after b6, rook castle. Well, okay. Let's keep a5, but c5. But still, it's still awkward for black. ba3, ba6. Well, still playable. b3, f6, f6, gf6, and this. Oh, that's a mess. Okay, let's make it. Let it analyze a little. Well, f6, 6, gf6. F5, king 8. Okay, that's confused. Let's leave it this way. Okay, after a5, ba3, ba6 with d5. Okay, b8. Well, that's probably already where it's going very badly. Still a last chance to play c5 and c4. Well, whatever, bc4, bc4. See, well, I really need to be very good for this. Queen d2. And now queen a7, bishop 2, e7, bishop c5, rook c5. Okay. Let it be b4 and c8 and that's for okay. Yeah, the alternatives and 5 and c5. This is already okay. Try to keep it together. But in this position, yes, after c5, there is this f5 that actually actually kind of crazy. The f5 actually is very topical in this kind of position. I think that's pretty much leads to an attack, a very strong attack from white. Now these variants are very long, but in the end, as visually you can see that all black pieces are kind of tied up and white pieces are very threatening, pointed to the king. So, well, after this, but I kind of hold on. 9f5 is actually the last move. After that is pretty much lost. That well, not I don't know why make it just this stone mark. bf5 kind of keeps all together, but c5. Okay, after this, well, this first variant is actually also favorable for black, but it's not. Still, yeah, what to do in the next game. avoid try to get to enough openings I know how to play. And then after in this position f4, try queen b6 and queen a5. Play against, play just play against the king, because after this move try to prevent a castle. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you next time. And last time, let's see you next time. Yes.